All right, guys, welcome back. Another episode, the Intelligent Idea Talkers Podcast 2.0 for the week of Sunday, February 24th, 2019.
Yeah, it's a new year.
Crazy.
You know, wait, have we done a new cast for the new year?
I think this might be the first cast we did.
Oh, snap.
This is crazy.
We're so sorry.
I know, man.
It's been a while.
Content does not flow exactly on schedule in the Intelligent Idea Talkers Podcast. But once again, I'm your host, D.
This is Juice.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're back, man. Two-man show today. We're trying to wait for Mum Blaze.
Mum Blaze high, y'all recall. But
Ain't gonna happen.
he's on the way. So we missed y'all, you know.
Right, man.
We're back for another
Welcome
show.
back. So,
we do got some topics we want to get into.
just a couple of things.
There's a few things that happened. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to the news recently around this time, but do you know who Jussie Smollett is?
Is it Jesse or Jussie? Because it's Jussie.
I mean,
I guess
don't
it's
even
Jussie.
know.
I don't watch Empire, so I don't know. I recognize the guy's face because I think he's one of Lucius' sons on there, right? I've watched like 3 episodes of Empire in my life.
Who's Lucius?
I think Lucius is the main guy in Empire.
Yo, his name is Lucius?
I think so. Yeah, Lucius Fox, I think. Is that it?
Nah,
No, that might be the guy from Batman. No. I'm pretty sure his name is Lucius, though. Isn't it Lucius?
Like, you Lucius Fox is definitely from Batman.
Octavius.
That was Morgan Freeman in Batman.
Man, hold on. What's the daddy's name from? Y'all know what I'm talking about. I don't watch that, but Jussie Smollett. This guy
Jussie Smollett, son.
is, I guess, he's the first black idiot of 2019.
Yeah.
Maybe not the celebrity idiot. I would say.
All right, so long story short, just to give you guys a rundown of what happened with Jussie Smollett, a couple months ago, it was back in 2018, I believe.
Which isn't it funny how the legal system works in America? Like, why does this stuff take so long to come out? Like, we'll see somebody like, that's why that summer when we had all those black people getting killed, you know, it seems like that one summer where like you were seeing things instantaneously, you know. The guy we saw get shot in his car, we saw that live, you know.
Right.
Like this thing with Jussie Smollett happened some months ago. Like, why is it?
No, actually, it happened on January 28th.
Okay, well,
So,
a month ago.
Not that long ago. But so it turns out that back on January 28th, or was it 29th, Jussie Smollett filed a police report saying that he was attacked after going to a Subway to get food. After I think he was coming in from out of town and he was looking for some food, didn't have anything in the house, so he went to a 24-hour Subway, or at least an open late Subway, got some food, and then he said he was attacked by 2 masked men who yelled profanities, calling him slurs, homosexual slurs, and then in the end, they doused him with a chemical, which turned out to be bleach, police later said, and they put a noose around his neck, and they ran off yelling, "This is MAGA country." I assume they spelled themselves on like MAGA country bitch or something, but they ran off yelling that. And
Lucius Lyon is the name of the dad.
Lucius Lyon?
Yeah, on Empire. So that's
Lucius
Jussie
Fox versus
Smollett's.
Lucius Lyon. Who would win in the fight?
That's Jussie Smollett's father on Empire, who was played by Terrence Howard. It's Lucius Lyon, right? I don't know Jussie Smollett's name on Empire. I don't know his name. Maybe
Is it
he's
an
Octavius.
accident that his name was Lucius followed by an animal name?
I don't know. Maybe they just play like the double L thing.
Lucius Lyon
Lucius Lyon
versus Lucius Fox.
But yeah, it's great. The crazy thing with this is like, are people actually this crazy to try to stage something like this and like fake it?
Going back to the story, CPD or Chicago Police Department is now saying that the entire incident was staged. That they had they did some police investigations and followed some cameras and tracked down the attackers, and turns out that there were 2 brothers from Nigeria who Jussie Smollett knew, and that they turned over evidence saying that he paid them off to stage this attack and to make him to raise his fame level, or whatever you want to call it.
Right. His status, his cachet.
Cachet, yeah. So,
right. So this girl says that that the Chicago police superintendent actually got it wrong when he told the media the actor paid $3,500 to Abel and Ola Oswandaro to stage an attack. TMZ has obtained, and this article is from obviously TMZ.
Right. So new news since the police did their report on, I think it was Friday or something.
Right.
Since they made their statement, now TMZ comes out with this. I'm sorry, what were you saying?
They said that TMZ has obtained documents that on the surface back his claim that Jesse Smollett said that the $3,500 check he wrote to Abel was for training. The check was written to Abel on January 23rd, 2019, 6 days before the attack in quotations. The memo line reads, 5-week nutrition workout program, don't go. So it says sources connected to Jesse tell us the reference don't go is a song for which Jesse was going to shoot a music video. So the training was for him. He's shooting a music video shirtless, so he needed to go to training and lose weight. You know, he wanted to look good for the video he was shooting.
Fill him on that.
He was 192 pounds and needed to lose 20 pounds for the shoot. And that's why he hired Abel, whom he says he calls Bond. But, I mean...
So it turns out, one, he knows these guys. Two, he knows them well enough to pay them money and that they could be his trainers.
And you need a cover story.
And that this... So here's the funny thing, right? So I know a lot of people, there's a debate going on social media right now about this whole thing. Mm-hmm. Where you have one side saying, oh, I knew he was lying the whole time. Oh, I knew none of this seemed right for these reasons. And some of those reasons were valid. Like, one of those valid reasons was, it seems a little bit on the nose that somebody in Chicago would run up on Jesse Smollett yelling, this is MAGA country?
Right.
Jesse Smollett in particular, knowing he was at Subway at that time at night, and knowing that he was, first off, knowing that he was Jesse Smollett randomly, and that they had a rope and a noose and bleach on them at the time, coincidentally. That's a high level of...
It calls into question, like, if people recognize you enough to know that you're Jesse Smollett from the show Empire, how much more cachet are you trying to earn by staging this attack anyway? You know,
like, before this incident, Jesse Smollett could walk through my living room and I wouldn't know who the hell it was.
know who the hell this was.
So who is this?
So maybe people actually watch a lot more Empire in Chicago than we do in Virginia. I don't know.
Is it set in Chicago?
I don't even know. I don't know.
Don't watch. We definitely don't watch Empire. Oh, we might be the only two black people who don't watch Empire.
So there are various texts starting from January 20th. On January 28th, there are various texts starting from January 20th between Jesse and Bond. On January 28th, the day before the attack, Bond wrote, I know you're traveling today. Make sure you get at least 45 minutes of cardio. So you might just be digging into a whole bunch of nothing. I mean, I guess it is kind of random if somebody would jump up and say, hey, I'm going to do this hate crime on Jesse Smollett, and maybe he didn't actually stage the attack. But at the same time, like, it could just be all a misunderstanding.
It really could be a misunderstanding. But then again...
He actually got attacked.
Did they, first off, because here's my assumption. When the police department, when they said, and it was interesting that the police chief who gave the press conference, he said a number of times, they're only able to hold the brothers, they're only able to hold them for 48 hours. Mm-hmm. And they said, he kept saying, on the 47th hour, they turned over this evidence. On the 47th hour, they confessed that this was staged. On the 47th hour, right? He kept repeating that jump. And I'm like, if they're able to hold out for 46 and a half hours,
right,
with saying nothing, what happened on that 47th hour to make these brothers come out and be like, okay, so here's what happened. It was staged, we did it, and here's a check, proof, which isn't really proof because it's not what, he didn't write them, first, he didn't write them a check being like, beat my ass at this time, right? Their conversations, they talked before and after the event, right?
Right.
The brothers went out to that jail. They knew they had a communications, right? But none of these communications that they had, seems with the information we have, seems to be anything along the lines of coded language for staging an event like this.
Exactly.
And so now
it seems fairly normal.
Yeah,
from what I'm reading of this, but
so what
today's day and age, who knows? Because I definitely would not be surprised if he actually did stage an attack. and try to earn some extra money because people fake insurance claims and try to have people killed and all that stuff all the
outside
time.
of the realm of reason. That's
right.
true.
Like,
People do that joint
people
all
do
the
that
time.
joint all the time. It's a business.
And what kind of narcissist is Jesse Smollett? I don't know, man. Like, I
Obviously, he has a video shoot coming.
yeah.
They said that there was a theory that he wanted to increase his, like I said, cachet so that he can earn more screen time on the show Empire.
And get more money.
Right.
Because he did get paid
He can
less.
negotiate for a better contract if he's on screen more. So
I think they showed one comparison where I think Terrence Howard was making like $165,000 an episode,
mhm.
where Smollett was making like $65,000 an episode, right? So he wanted to increase how much money he could get per episode or something like that. How much money he could take in based on the show.
Right.
But then again, it's still a super far reach to assume that somebody will go that far. You know, when he's already doing music, he's doing and another. I want to throw out another thing. Another thing I read was that the police, when they raided the brother's place,
Mhm.
said they found rope in his apartment, and that they found bleach in their apartment, and that they found magazines with pages torn out. So, one, did the rope match the rope that was around Smollett's neck? I don't know. Maybe it did. But if it didn't, that's a reach.
And if I'm
Two,
gonna run up on
who in the world doesn't have bleach in their house? If you
Right.
do laundry, you might want to keep some bleach, keep your whites white.
and if you do a hate crime, wouldn't it just be more like, I guess, making a statement? You want to tie a rope around his neck, but shouldn't you just focus on kicking his ass? You know what I mean? That's the best way to send a hate crime is to fuck him up and send him to the hospital. You know, like you tying a rope around his neck. It just all seems a little bit too on the nose.
It did seem like that.
So it seems a little bit weird.
So here's the thing: there's evidence on both sides, and there's skepticism on both sides. Because we know the CPD police department doesn't have the greatest record.
Right.
They don't.
At the end of this article, they say that the police superintendent, who they're saying got his accusation wrong, that this event was not staged, when the police superintendent said it was, also said during a news conference that Jesse himself sent the racist letter 8 days before the attack. So I guess the letter they're talking about is
So
the
letter
letter they
saying-
sent to check.
No. So there's a letter that came out that they were saying that Smollett. They're saying Smollett wrote to himself,
A hateful, threatening letter just days
Right.
before the attack.
and I saw a picture of the letter. It looked kind of ridiculous.
Mhm.
Like
And that's just written in crayon.
it was written in crayon. Well, like these big ass letters. So they're saying like because pages were missing
Right.
out of magazines, that they used those pages. And I'll put an image up, but that they used those pages to make those letters.
Black fag.
But they're not done from what that was reported. They're not done comparing to make sure that those letters came from those pages.
Mhm.
So they're calling the FBI, and hopefully the FBI comes in and can sort this whole thing out. But
I'm like, is this
Right
case
now.
really that serious? Like, if he really did stage an attack and he's the only one who got injured or anything like that, didn't cause bodily harm to anybody else, shouldn't he just be embarrassed? Is he going to face legal action for this?
the thing
Should
is
he
that I
just
think
fake-
the maximum sentence is 3 years in jail
Really?
if you for this. Yeah, if you staged
Because he filed a false police report.
filed false police report and staged something like this.
Which is crazy because police do that shit all the time. They file false. I'm sure police
Right.
file false police reports all the time.
If you have a police report and the only thing on that joint is resisting arrest, that joint's fucking staged.
Exactly.
That's a false police report.
It's a
I'm just
heavily
gonna go out there and say it.
favored police report. You know?
And it ain't straight.
But I mean, shouldn't he just face the shame and embarrassment of having done this? And like, I don't think the brother should get jail time off. He didn't hurt nobody. You know what I mean? Even if he did pay them, he paid them. You know what I'm saying? I paid you to do a job.
Here's the thing, like, if he did it, if they can prove without a shadow of a doubt, innocent and proven guilty, and they're able to prove that his ass did it.
But if they come in there and say 3 years, I'm like, damn, bro.
I mean, I don't want to say 3 years, but he
Crazy.
should get some time just to deter people in the future, man. Like, use this as an example, man.
At least
I
some
give
like,
that some
community
time.
service or something, right? Yeah.
Yeah, man. I
That's
don't
crazy.
know, man. I know they're already talking about kicking his ass off the show, off of this so far. So, and he's definitely maintaining that he didn't stage this, that this was an actual attack. So,
All right, so this
keep
article,
watching
link to the article also on TMZ says about the letter that sources on set tell us a private security company was hired by the show, Imagine Empire, and met with FBI agents to establish a protocol for inspecting all incoming mail. We're told the team wears gloves, so the evidence in question is not contaminated. So the security team has two functions: to flag threatening incoming mail and alert the FBI, and to possibly link new items to the letter Jesse already received, containing homophobic and racist epithets, along with an image of a noose. Hence, I guess that's where the noose came from in the attack, right?
Yeah, maybe.
It's weird, man. Like, okay, so I don't know. In this world we live in America, where like we can follow fads, FADS, as far as like TV shows go, like Game of Thrones and Empire, and they have this huge following to where this is news, you know. Because when I saw it, I was like, why in the world would anybody fake a hate crime
Why would you fake it in your ass?
to try to improve your status? Like, that sounds ridiculous on its face, but
In
that's
this
all the
world,
more reason I think it
Why
could happen.
outrage is a source of income at this point.
Right.
It's not impossible, man.
So,
It's definitely not impossible.
Like I said, I don't watch the show. I don't know how much screen time he actually gets, but hey, more power to him, man.
Let's keep watching. See what happens.
I won't.
Yeah.